Fair and Balanced Debate. Marianne Marsh, Democratic strategist and former advisor to John Kerry, and Chris Wilson, GOP pollster and strategist. Okay, so there you have it. The Republicans sort of throwing down the gauntlet, saying, this is it. I mean, essentially, this means war. Things we formerly would have overlooked, we're no longer going to overlook. Marianne, Chrissy, do you think Democrats take that threat?
I think it's fine. I think it should be that way. I don't think Democrats will have a problem with that at all. I mean, I think the most important development today, Megyn, frankly, is the deficit reduction from CBO. If I'm a Democrat going into the 2010 election, a congressional Democrat looking to be reelected, I'm looking at the fact that it will reduce the deficit. Why is that important? Because that's what independent voters care about more than anything. They've left Obama and the Democrats in droves. If I can make that argument to independent voters that not only is it going to reduce the deficit, but help to fix health care, I'm in much better shape in November than I was before today.
But are those numbers real, Chris?
No, they're not real, and I think that's the challenge. It's amazing to me that you see the numbers come out, and we see it's going to even be a bigger tax increase and a tax hit on middle-class families, and Democrats are even better with it than they were before. This is a bill right now that the American people are strongly opposed to. We're getting numbers out of congressional districts that are showing 85% disapproval of this health care bill, and it is going to be catastrophic for Democrats if they move forward and push this in the manner in which they're currently doing. And it's weird for me to sit here with some sort of crocodile tears and lament that, because I almost want to say, hey, go forward and do it, but the problem is it's bad for the country, it's bad for us, and it's gone beyond doing what's right for the country. It's now about saving face, and that's what they're doing.
But Chris, I want to ask you, and then I'll get back to Marianne. What about this threat from Tom Coburn that you know, anything we see, any special little deal for your congressional district, we consider that a bribe? I mean, we're going to go back. We are going to consider that a buying of your vote, and we're going to out you on it. Is that real? Do you think that's going to have any effect?
Well, it should. I think what Nebraska showed and what Louisiana showed and what's going on with the unions right now, which is a whole separate issue, is showing is that they are having to buy votes to get this to pass. And it looks like they're 6-7 votes away right now. And I think what Tom Coburn is saying is you're switching your vote from no to yes. We're going to find out why. And when we do find out why, the same thing is going to happen to you that's going to happen to Ben Nelson in 2 years is he's probably going to lose re-election. And in fact, if they had a recall provision in Nebraska, I think you'd see him out immediately. It is what the administration is trying to do with members of Congress in terms of buying votes goes beyond anything that's taken place before, and it really is disgraceful.
You know, Marianne, that is the report that, you know, President Obama is meeting with the holdouts, and we don't know what's happening behind closed doors. But people are asking, are there more special deals being made in order to persuade somebody to come on board? You know, is it usual for them to just say, would you please, I'd really appreciate it? Or do they say, look, we'll get behind you on this, we might give you a little extra funding on that?
You know, there are no secrets in Washington anymore, Megyn. You know, I mean, that's the fact. And if that's what's going on, people are going to know about it. I frankly think this is a bit of payback from the Republicans when the Democrats went after them. They said they didn't want any stimulus money. They voted against it, but then they went to their districts, they went to their states and held press conferences touting all the help that the stimulus money was giving them. That's fine. Everybody should know everything. That's fine. I think how you do in November will be based on how you defend either voting for health care or against it. And Chris is a pollster. He knows this. If you're a Democrat, Democrats want you to vote for it. If you're a Republican, Republicans want you to vote against it. It's independent voters who determine these elections. And if this cuts the deficit and you can make that argument, you're going to win, and that's what the Democrats' bet is right now.
Well, quickly, how do you respond, Marianne, to Chris's point as a pollster that he raises, which saying that in a lot of these districts, the ones that are at issue here, 80 to 85% of the people are against it, and nonetheless, in many of those districts, their congressman is going to vote yes?
I think it goes right down party lines. I think that maybe the thing Chris isn't saying. Again, it falls right down party lines. It's the independent votes that are up for debate, and that's what's going to be the biggest fight of all come November.
Chris, I'll give you the last word. Is it just the independent voters, and how do they come out on it?
Well, the independents are overwhelmingly against it, too. But I'd say where I would challenge Marianne a little bit, she's mostly right, is conservative Democrats, where I'm seeing numbers of conservative Democrats, not just in southern states, but in Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, even in New York, where you're seeing 60, 70% of conservative Democrats being against this bill. And that's what, if conservative Democrats defect from the Democratic Party like they did under Ronald Reagan, again, it's catastrophic for the Democrats in November.
Well, that's just one of the many things we're going to be watching once this thing resolves one way or the other. We hope sometime soon. Marianne, Chris, thanks so much.
Thanks, Megyn.
Well, the product millions of Americans use to protect their dogs and cats.